Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well and I hope that you're as excited as I am, because finally, for the first time, we will see the Bianconeri not only in training session but this time on the field. 90 minutes of football against one that can be one of our opponents for the title, for the Scudetto, for the top 4. We are speaking about Milan. Totally a different mentality as Juve on the market, because after selling Tonali, they are investing. A lot of supporters, Calcio supporters, are at the moment saying that they are the queen or the kings of the Mercato. Juventus, with only one signing, Timothy Weah, will need to give us answers. And more than the answers of who will be the new signings and how will they play, because we don't have that much. The answers that we are expecting from today are especially coming from one man, Massimiliano Allegri. How could he and will he possibly transmit the words that we were asking at the end of last season for 23-24? Intensity, concentration, pass accuracy. We had some people, some friends that are in LA at the moment. They were there last year. They were there this year. They were observing the two different training sessions and they were comparing, and they told me inside information that they saw a lot of changes from last year to this year. I will tell you and I will reveal you all the secrets from LA to prepare Juve Milan, and then of course we will finish with Mercato. So guys, yesterday a total flop with the video. We didn't even reach 3,000 views. We didn't even reach 500 likes. Can we please go back to a maximum of you sharing the video with all your Juventini friends? Tell them Beppe is back with a maximum of information. But of course, it depends on you. Maximum of likes, subscribe to the channel, because now it's time to speak about Allegri. Ciao Juventini, again, Tuttosport is opening the pages with Allegri, la cambi tu la Juve. Allegri, will you change Juventus? And what is that title saying? What is that title telling us? Well, that at the moment the players can't change Juventus, because basically it's the same team that we had last year, with a Quadrado, Di Maria, Paredes less, with a Weah more, with a Rovella more, with a Cambiaso more, but no new top signings. The players that are coming back basically are the ones from loan, with only a real new face, Timothy Weah. So the changes that we are expecting are coming absolutely from Massimiliano Allegri. A new face that is helping Massimiliano Allegri on the field is Magnanelli. A lot of Juventini that were there in LA are telling me, Beppe, you know that Magnanelli, Padoin that was already there last year, are really a lot involved in all the training session. They are speaking with the people, but not only them, also Massimiliano Allegri as first person, not only from the side of the field observing, taking notes, and after that in meeting sessions speaking with his technical staff, but in first person speaking with the players, giving advices, telling them what to do. Yesterday there was a kind of 11 against 11 with 11 static players and the other opposition were mobile. They were already working on some offensive patterns to try also to find ways, to find some schemes, to find some alternatives to go on target with the other one that were static, and then they were just changing. The static ones became mobile and the other one, the mobile, became static, so that we do the same exercises but much more than that, much more than the exercises that personally I don't know if they are doing well or not, because I was personally not present, because I'm not that expert of a training session to tell you yes, it's a perfect exercise or not. The things that are really important is that we see some words that we wanted to see, we see them there on the field. The first one is that everyone is telling me, Beppe, the concentration level, the behavior level from all the players increased much more than last year. If we are comparing, last year it was a bit more fun, it was a bit more relaxed. It's not that they were not training, but it was more friendly, while this year everyone is going at high intensity, more velocity, more pace, more intensity, as I already told you, and already some frames of games, some frames of if offensive pattern that we can already intensify. We are waiting for these answers already today against Milan. We parked the result that I always told you in friendlies are not that important. Of course I want to win. I always want to win. I even want to win when I'm playing one-on-one on the street with my son, with a ball, or on FIFA. I always want to win. and for Juventus even more. But if we are really speaking about the importance of the game, the importance are these keywords. Allegri has already one mission, like Tuttosport is saying. He wants to show, or he needs to tell us, to show us more than the result, that the team has another grinta, that the team has another intensity, that the team has another face. We want to see another face, another concentration level. Concentration was one of the big words of last year, one of the big flops, because how much did we see and how many times did we see our team not being able to play more than 20 minutes with a full concentration, because after 20 minutes it dropped. But also in an entire season with some games that were total disasters, where we were not us anymore, and some other games where we're showing some improvement but absolutely not consistent. Well, that concentration. And how is Allegri working on it? Well, from LA they are telling me, Beppe, a lot of time during training session, Max Allegri is stopping the training and he's telling to all the guys, increase the concentration, become better with your behavior. Every single pass is counting, because every single missed pass can create danger for your team. So we have to work on that. Maximum attention. Pay attention is the key word of the training session. That's what Massimiliano Allegri is asking to all the team. Maximum concentration and much more. He's telling them that every single pass is important. It's a mentality thing that we have to increase there in LA. Intensity, concentration, every single pass, every single control, you know, the stop of the ball. That last year, so many times we saw so many stupid passes, and we all remember our pass accuracy was a total disaster. Well, working on that, working on this 1-2 in velocity, the communication between the players. I don't know if it will work. I don't know if we are doing the same exercises, but from what I know, and it's written here on my paper, what the people told me, Beppe, there is a total difference with last year. And I can be only happy from what I'm hearing. Then Magnanelli and Padoin a lot more involved. I already told you, I'm happy about that. We are working in two different formations. The 3-5-2, that will be, like he said as well, the start of the formations in the beginning of the season, but also in the afternoon when the supporters are not there, they are starting also to work in a 4-3-3 that at the moment we can't do. We can't go with a revolution from a 3-5-2 to a 4-3-3 because we don't have the Mercato men there. We don't have a left back, we don't have a right back. We can adapt some players, but we don't have the consistency in these players. But we already work on it. There is a idea, there is a plan from Max. Maybe he knows that Giuntoli is working for a left back and a right back for August, maybe for the end of the Mercato, so we are already preparing. Maybe it is also to put Federico Chiesa in his best possible position as a left or right offensive winger. Let's see, but we are preparing two formations with a 3-5-2 that will be the start of the season and trying to evolve if the players are arriving towards the end of the season. On the left, Kostic, on the right, Wea. These are tested the most in training session when we are playing with a 4-3-3, while it's at the moment Milik up top with Chiesa on the left or on the right, with Keane also on the left or on the right. They are changing a lot. This is the 4-3-3 at the moment with the players that we have. Vlahovic will not be there. And now we will go towards the first possible lineup. But Vlahovic will not be there. He did yesterday a part of the training session, especially warm-up, stretching and so on. When we started to do the more ball exercises, he went away to train individually. Pogba, the same question. And then Rovella is at the moment not at 100%. So I'm not sure if we will see him tonight. Speaking about the certainties of Juventus, what Max Allegri will start with, well, and that's why we start with a three-man defense, because apparently the three men has been chosen. Bremer in the center, Danilo a bit more on the left, and Gatti, that is now a real starter, on the right side of the field. So three players in defense, the one that gave us for a large part of last year solidity in defense. That's the new start of Max Allegri. Max Allegri that wants to go back to the first Allegri 1.0 in defense, where we were conceding only 24 goals in 14-15. 20 only, that was the record of less goals conceded in 15-16, 27-24 and then 30. The last 2 years, 37 and then 33 last year. We want to go less than 30 goals, and these three men will be fundamental. Who can play today? Well, the three men with Szczesny to the goal. On the left, Cambiaso, not Kostic. Not that Kostic not ready, but we want to test, we want to understand what Cambiaso can give us, and I'm super curious to see the boy, like I'm super curious to see the other one, Timothy Weah, that a lot of people are saying in his home, in USA, he is really impressing a lot of people, especially offensively. Let's see also defensively what he will be able to give, because if I'm not wrong, on the other side he will have some players like Leao and Theo Hernandez. Weston McKennie, Miretti and Locatelli in the middle of the field. We know that we are missing at the moment Rabiot, Fagioli, Pogba that is not ready yet at the moment. I'm curious to see if Rovella will play a few minutes. Not sure about that. And on top, Federico Chiesa and Moise Kean that, like a lot of times in the summer, is in top form. The most informed is Federico Chiesa. Will we have the chance to see the three golden boys? We are speaking about Joseph Nongué, Dean Huijsen and Kenan Yildiz. Well, probably yes. Maybe in second half, where you see much more than the 5 usual subs, we can have possibly a chance to see these guys, and we know it. And when they're on the field, we always have that admiration, that hope that these guys can be the stars of the future. What they are telling us from USA is that they are super happy, that they are progressing a lot because they are playing every single day with big champions. So really happy to see these guys this evening, a defender, a midfielder and a striker. Can you tell me, prediction, who you believe will be part of the first team? Will it be Dean Huijsen? Will it be Kenan Yildiz? Will it be maybe Joseph Nongué, that we are not speaking a lot about? Maybe he will be the one that will impress a lot of people. Well, Szczesny should start this evening, but of course we are entering now the Mercato talks with Szczesny, Bayern, La Juve ha il canale. There is already a way open in negotiation, in talks with Bayern. We already started last year with De Ligt, for example. It's not the first time that we are dealing with Bayern. Bayern is really interested in Szczesny. Szczesny that at the moment wants reassurance from Bayern. When will Neuer come back? Because Szczesny said it clearly, I want to stay at Juve, I have 2 more years of contract. Szczesny that as a person I really admire. He grew also in my consideration of him being a leader. It's a player that last year, do you remember the Sevilla game, but also last year in the total season was a fantastic goalkeeper, a player that I don't want to see leaving Juventus. The only reason that I'm making myself is of course the salary that is quite huge, a pre-COVID contract that was made from old management, and that's the only reason. If he goes there, Perin would be promoted as first goalkeeper, but then of course you have 2 goalkeepers that are monitored. The always wanted Carnesecchi that could cost a lot of money because Atalanta wants to bet on him. Otherwise you have a return possibly from Sampdoria. You have Audero, a goalkeeper that was first goalkeeper with Sampdoria that I really appreciate. Let's see if he can come back as a second goalkeeper in case that Szczesny would leave. We saw also some talks with Giuntoli that will have a lot of work. He was yesterday speaking with a man. Who is that man? Branchini. Who is Branchini? For example, the agent of Fabio Miretti, that yesterday in Tutto Sport said, after the tour in USA, we will speak about the possibility of me staying at Juve or going on loan. Super happy with the renewal of contract until 2027, giving me continuity. But let's see what options are there. There are some teams on him, Salernitana, but also Monza. Can he do the way that some players did, like for example Rovella, Ranocchia, maybe going to Monza and being one of the keys of the midfield there? One thing that we know is at Monza, the players that are going there on loan, usually there are playing. Cristiano Giuntoli on Sunday will go back, anticipating the other players. He will go back to Europe. Will he stop first in London or not? That's a big question, but there are some things that he really needs to start dealing with. We're speaking about exit players like Zakaria, that at the moment there are a few teams on him, like West Ham, but we are not able at the moment to close. Leverkusen is on him, and Monaco. I'm sure that we can find at least one team that really want to sign for around 20 million euro our Swiss player. Then other things that he needs to close are, for example, the Italian player Pellegrini that is between a loan to Lazio or being definitely permanently sold to Nice, the team of France. Bonucci at the moment we still need to figure out. He wants to stay at Juve even if he didn't travel with the team. Juventus said clearly he's not part of the project, so let's see also for him. Weston McKennie that at the moment There are not really interesting offers for him. So if it's not a player that Juventus is counting on, especially if we want to go for Kessié or maybe other midfielders, well, we need to find also for him a destination. With Franck Kessié, that at the moment looks like he prefers the Premier League. He wants to play Champions League. There is the name of Tottenham on him, even if they are not playing next year the Champions League. Well, Franck Kessié could not go to Juve, and I told you I would love the player only if he is convinced. You know what I'm thinking? In the next few days, monitor the name of Franck Kessié. What about Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia, well, they will try again some attempts on Alexandro, on Leonardo Bonucci, and on Paul Pogba. If I can already exclude that Bonucci will go to Saudi Arabia, why not Alexandro, even if the last rumors are saying that Alexandro really wants to stay his last year in Torino. What about Paul Pogba? Well, Paul Pogba is a difficult situation. His training is slimmer, is skinnier, he looks like more informed than last year, where he was a total disaster after that huge injury. Well, Paul Pogba, he wants to bet on himself. Will it be at the cost of a disaster season without appearances? That's what we will discover in a few weeks if he's still in Bianconero. One that you can already say goodbye to is Marco Verratti, that is that close to go to Saudi Arabia, to Al Hilal after Paris Saint-Germain. For the people that dreamt about the Juventino going to Juve, or at least in Serie A, well, I believe that he goes to the Saudi Arabia team. We finish with the two other papers that we didn't mention today. Corriere dello Sport about Osimhen, that apparently after some troubles with Napoli, looks like they want to discuss the renewal of the contract, but attenzione still to Paris Saint-Germain, but also Saudi Arabia that wants to go on the player. One of the big stars, if not the big star of 2023 Calcio Serie A, could possibly leave. At the moment, Corriere is more towards a renewal of contract. What are they saying? An important news from today. There will be new rules in Serie A. Swiss players and English players will not be considered anymore extra European players, so that means that they are not taking spots. Who is taking advantage of it? Well, it's probably Milan. Milan that after some signing of extracomunitari can continue tranquillo their Mercato. What a strange way of changing the rules in the middle of the season. Anyway, this is what it is. Gazzetta dello Sport is putting Lautaro on their first page, that is crying because he said that he was disappointed on Lukaku. Lukaku that is still in the target of Juventus, especially according to some papers. It is Massimiliano Allegri that really wants Lukaku, even if Vlahovic is not being sold. Will John Giuntoli that is saying, let's see, because I have another name in mind. I don't know if it will be feasible or not, but Jonathan David is a player that I would love to go for, because I was already monitoring for the post-Osimhen at Napoli. Who will come? Who will reinforce the strikers of Juventus? Well, we will discover it towards the month of August. Ragazzi, maximum of like if you didn't yet. I hope you enjoyed that video that was super pumped, because I am super pumped to see our boys today. 3-5-2 with a lot of newness, not that much in terms of names except of Wea, but really especially in terms of behavior. That's what I'm expecting, and I'm also expecting you this night waking up like that with a lot of coffee to watch Juve Milan in a watch along. Grazie, forza. Aia. Juve.